Hello, hello, hello. Testing one, two. Testing one, two. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And this is the Oasis live stream. This is a live stream talking about tonight's Oasis Live 25 reunion show. Their final London show was happening tonight. Well, their final London show for now. They have a couple others later on in the year, but this was their final London show at Wembley Stadium tonight, August the 3rd, the fifth of five shows that they performed in London. The first two were last weekend. Then they did a show, I believe, this past Wednesday. And now they did a show last night and a show tonight as well. So I thought I would hop on here. Danny says hi. I say hi. Hi, Danny. So yeah, I just thought I'd hop on here. I don't know if anybody's going to watch, but I just thought I'd hop on here and talk a little about the final London show. Talk about the set list. Not that it's changed at all, but talk about the set list, the fan reaction, people talking about this final London show. Yeah, they've so far Oasis has done the two nights at Cardiff. At Principality Stadium in Cardiff. They did those earlier on in July or the beginning of July. They did 5 shows at Heaton Park in Manchester, and then they just completed 5 shows at Wembley Stadium in London. And you just like looking at the pictures that I've seen from Wembley Stadium, the crowd looks absolutely insane. It's just a sea of people. It very much reminds me of the heyday of Oasis back in the 90s when they did shows like Main Road and Nebworth and Earl's Court and all those huge shows that they did back in the 90s, where it's just a sea of people, very much still kind of the same kind of vibe going into this reunion show. So very, very cool. Everything I've seen from London has been absolutely insane. And then, so, from here on out, there's still more shows to come on the reunion tour. So they just finished London. Then they're going to be going to Edinburgh, Scotland for the shows on August 8th, 9th, and 12th. Then they're going to be going to Ireland for shows at Croke Park in Dublin on the 16th and 17th of August. And then coming up for me in Toronto on August the 24th and 25th. And then they're going to be continuing the North American tour from there. So it sounds like it's been a very, very exciting time to be an Oasis fan. Vlad May says, you're not going to play the guitar today. You know what, Vlad? Funnily enough. So the last live stream I did on the channel here, the last one, I think I was talking about Manchester. I had my guitar here with me. I was playing Oasis songs and kind of taking requests and that kind of thing. Well, that live stream video got absolutely ruined by YouTube, at least on my side, because I got a ton of not necessarily copyright strikes, but like copyright notices on that video, because like YouTube and its copyright stuff has gotten crazy, because it's already bad enough if you're a music channel like me and you try to use actual audio of a song like Oasis or whoever. If you try to use the actual audio of a song in a video for longer than 4 or 5 seconds, that's going to get picked up by YouTube's copyright kind of notices, and then that affects the visibility of your video. So now with YouTube, it's like I don't even have to play the audio of a song to get a copyright strike on my video. I can simply just sit here and play the song myself on my own guitar, singing it with my own voice, and YouTube will still pick that up. It'll pick up the lyrics and it will pick up the melody of the song. Just me singing it, not even the Oasis audio of the song. It still picks that up and affects the copyright of the video. So I was like, you know what, this time I'm going to keep it very simple and just talk, because it's, I don't know if you've seen lately, like Rick Beato and some other Justin Hawkins and other big YouTubers have been talking about how YouTube has really been getting hard when it comes to music channels and actually being able to play the music that we're talking about. Because for my videos, I know I would love to be able to just talk about and play the music that I'm talking about. But it's getting harder and harder to do that on a lot of videos. So yeah. Vlad says, into bloody hell, next thing they're going to do is block you right away as soon as you dare think about the name of the song in your head. I know it's getting to be like that, and I really do love YouTube as a platform, and I love being able to have a community and communicate with people, and we talk about our favorite music and our favorite bands. But then, of course, things like that happen. So it gets a little bit harder to do that kind of thing. I usually, the thing is like when I was doing my videos over the last couple of years, I thought, okay, well, what's a way that I can still play the music that I'm talking about on the show on the channel without playing the actual audio of the song? Well, I thought, okay, well, I'll just play them myself, right? I'm a musician. I got a guitar. I got a microphone. I can just play them myself and sing them myself, and that won't be a problem. But then there you go. So, but anyways, we're here to talk about Oasis. So I'm going to try to share my screen here again, guys. Let me know if you can see my screen, if you have any issues. Um, yeah, let's see here because last time I was sharing it, it gave me like a little bit of a blank screen. So I'm going to try doing this. One second here. All right, we're gonna this window. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that here of me sharing my window here. Let me see if there's any other issues. Okay. So it should be that. So just taking a look at the Oasis Twitter. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this up front, but there was actually they mentioned in the news today that somebody passed away at the Oasis show last night at Wembley Stadium in London. I think was from a fall. I just read that news right before coming on here and doing this live stream, and that was just horrible to hear. So condolences to the family and friends of the person who passed away at the Oasis show last night. That's really horrible, but hopefully it was a good experience for that person to see Oasis live. But yeah, just taking a look at some of this stuff on Twitter. You got some of this video of their London show. Absolutely massive. Looks absolutely crazy. What was going on in London. So that's really, really cool. And then let me see here. Let's take a look at some of these. Actually, you know what? I've really been enjoying Bonehead's posts that he's been doing lately before the shows and after the shows on his Instagram. He's been posting pictures of him and Gem and Andy getting ready for shows. And here's a picture of Bonehead looking good in his sweater and his guitar, his signature red Epiphone there, or his Gibson. That looks really, really cool. Let's see, pop in here. So taking a look at some of the reactions from the show tonight. Um, People looked like they were just having like a crazy awesome time. So there was like Oasis tonight at Wembley, one of the best gigs of my life. Amazing, sounding as good as ever. Crowd was buzzing, even if our largely middle-aged bodies will be feeling sore tomorrow. That is from Vicky on X. Charlotte says live music is one of my true loves, and I'm lucky to go to a lot of gigs. Not been to much that matches this Oasis Live 25. And then they're actually showing a video of Oasis, Liam and Noel joking together on stage about what they would call themselves. Liam says, I think we make a good thingy. And Noel says, we make a good rock and roll sandwich. And then I think Liam made a joke about them playing Bonehead's Bank Holiday because he was kind of ribbing Bonehead on stage. Mona says, what a night. And I still can't believe it. Rob says, Wembley tonight, another perfect gig. Yeah, that looks awesome. Moo says, the greatest night in my 45 years on this planet. There are no words to describe how good tonight was. Biblical. Jay Henderson says Oasis could have been rubbish at Wembley. Nobody would have cared. They weren't, though. They were effing amazing. Cast were great. Also, Richard Ashcroft was amazing, and he is just the coolest man in Britain. So that's pretty cool to see some of these reactions that we've gotten so far from these live 25 reunion shows. And yeah, this is the last show in London, so they're going to be moving on now. The next shows will be next weekend in Edinburgh, Scotland, and then they're going to be moving on from there to some of the other shows. So let's take a look actually at this set list. It's been absolutely the same set list for every single show on this tour so far. Last week or last time I did the live stream, it said Gas Panic was added to the set list, which I absolutely don't believe. So that's absolutely not true whatsoever. So let's take a look at this concert set list for Oasis. Carl says, hey, what's so going on? So yeah, the set list. They started with F fucking in the bushes, of course, as the opening music, with preceded by Close Encounters of the Third Kind dialogue. But then this set list has stayed the same for every show of the Live 25 reunion tour so far. So we had Hello opening things up before Acquiesce, Morning Glory. Some might say Bring It On Down, Cigarettes and Alcohol, still no Columbia. in the set list. I can't believe they haven't put Columbia in the set list. That is crazy. I think people posted on social media that they rehearsed Columbia or they heard the band rehearsing Columbia from outside of the venue, but still not in the set list. Like, would it kill them? It's already 23 songs. I don't think it would kill Oasis to put 24 songs in there. So, Fade Away. You know what? I'm glad they have Fade Away in there. I think it's a great song. It's a great B-side, but I would rather hear Columbia over Fade Away. Supersonic, Roll With It, going into a little section with Noel on vocals. Talk Tonight, Half the World Away, and Little by Little. And then, do you know what I mean? Stand By Me. So I still am so psyched that they included some Be Here Now in here. Cast No Shadow, Slide Away, Whatever, with a snippet of Octopus's Garden, Live Forever, Rock and Roll Star, and then of course the encore, the Master Plan, Don't Look Back in Anger, Wonderwall, and Champagne Supernova. So still the same set list that we've seen at all these gigs so far. But the cool thing is that it's a great set list. It's still kind of disappointing that there's nothing in there from the latter half of Oasis' career, from like anything from, well, they did do Little by Little from Heath and Chemistry, but there's nothing from Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. I would love to hear Go Let It Out. Nothing really from Heath and Chemistry other than Little by Little. I would love to hear Hindu Times. I'd love to hear Lila from Don't Believe the Truth. I'd love to hear Shock of the Lightning or I'm Out of Time from Dig Out Your Soul. So, you know what? There are some songs that I think are missing, but this is still really a solid Oasis set list when it comes to having a set list that's going to appease the most fans and get everybody the hyped up the most. I think this is really a great set list. So really, really love seeing that, even though they haven't changed it up too much. Carl says, fucking in the Bushes feels overused over too long a period now. This is new era Oasis. We need to change, like Morning Glory into intro from the tape, then they come out straight into Acquiesce. That would be cool. I still think Fucking in the Bushes is a great song to get everybody really, really hyped up for these shows. And I know that when I go see them in Toronto and I hear that intro, that's going to really, really get me hyped up. So I'm really, really looking forward to it, regardless of what they walk on stage to. Vlad says, so the whole gas panic thing was a prank or what? It must have been. Maybe somebody was just trying to prank us with the setlist FM. I don't think there's anything specifying that you have to be truthful with your set list, I suppose. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's a deep cut. Yeah, so totally. I don't know why somebody put gas panic on that set list, but it was there, but was not to be. Carl says it's mental. I agree. I know. Yeah. Fucking in the Bushes just totally gets people hyped up every time Oasis comes on stage. And yeah, we're getting close. It's hard to believe. Like, it's August 3rd today. The Oasis, the first show in Toronto, is on August 24th. And it's coming up really, really soon. I can't believe it's finally like almost here, because I bought my tickets to the show back in October. I believe it was September, October, when they announced the shows for their North American tour. Yeah, I was like on my lunch at work, and I bought the tickets on my lunch, and I'm like, okay, well, this is still quite a ways away, but we're getting there. Like, only a few weekends, and then I'm going to be seeing them live myself in Toronto at the new Rogers Stadium. Carl says, lucky you, I'm having to wait until Mexico City. Wild. I know that's coming up. Yeah. So Mexico City, that is going to be, that's not until, no, it's in September. So they're going to be playing Mexico City on the 12th and 13th of September. So you're almost there. You're like just over a month away. So that's been pretty cool, but it's been a little bit difficult. So not difficult, but kind of hard as an Oasis fan to watch everything going on, because I've been like, obviously, watching some of the highlights from the shows and pictures and people's reactions and some of the live footage and stuff. But I've really been trying not to watch too much of that stuff, because I really just want to like have it be like a fresh experience when I see them on the 24th at Rogers Stadium. Like, I don't want to like it's like not necessarily like a no spoilers kind of thing, but I just want it to feel fresh and awesome. And I'm sure it will either way, but just impactful when I see them on the 24th of August at Rogers Stadium. So Carl says September 12th, flying from England with a mate. That's awesome. Flying from England to Mexico City to see them live. And that must be like a different kind of experience too, because seeing Oasis live in England is its own thing, but then I'm sure seeing them live in Mexico City with those fans is going to be an amazing experience as well. Same with Toronto and all these different places. Yeah, totally. Daniel says, I was ready to rap in Colombia. Yeah, totally. I would love, I still think Colombia should be on the set list. I think a lot of people would agree with that for sure. Daniel says during Colombia, ready to rap during Colombia. Vlad says they still have to tour Europe, so part of me thinks they're going to turn into a band like My Chemical Romance these days. No releases, but quite frequent tours. That I think that could be possible. I definitely don't think they're going to stop after this year. I do think they'll play Europe and some of the other spots in the world that they want to hit. So I think they're going to continue. At least I hope they continue. Carl says girlfriend lives in Texas, so seeing her on my way back. So there you go, perfect. Getting to do doing all those things, and then yeah, see Oasis, visit your girlfriend. That sounds like a great trip. That sounds awesome. So I hope you enjoy that, Carl. That sounds amazing. Carl says, now they'll do what the Stone Roses did, milk it, and then retire for more reissues and cash. Very true. You know, we got that Morning Glory reissue coming up in October, and then they can do Be Here Now in a couple of years. And yeah, that reissue train is going to continue, despite the fact that I would love them to do more new music. But we'll see what happens. Danny says, if Oasis invited you on stage to play a song, which song would it be? I would love to be on stage with them to play like Supersonic would be cool. Like I'm trying to think of my favorite songs I like to play on guitar from Oasis. Supersonic, Columbia, Champagne Supernova would be really cool. Do you know what I mean? Would be cool. Wonderwall would be cool because who doesn't want to play Wonderwall? Those famous chords for sure. Carl says, but I don't care because they're my childhood band, so I just want to see them one more time. Same, you know, it's just been like, you know, for us Oasis fans, longtime fans, you know, we didn't know if this would ever happen, right? When the band broke up in 2009, like I was okay with it at the time because I'm like, you know what, let them go solo, let them do their own things. And I've really enjoyed the last decade or so of solo material that we've gotten from Liam and Noel because I've enjoyed all of it. You know, I got the posters on my wall here, got the Liam and Noel posters. So like I've enjoyed all of that part of it. But then when they got back together, that was just like another level of excitement. And yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens after this year. You know, I want them to go back to their solo careers eventually, but I just don't know if I want them to do it yet because it just feels like it would just be kind of one and done. Carl says, I was 16 when they broke up and sold my ticket for Heaton Park 2009 because my dad was sick. So it means a lot. Yeah. Well, you know, like, sorry to hear that you had to sell your ticket. And yeah, no, how old was I when they broke up? 2009. I was a little bit older than you. I was 26 when they broke up. So yeah, no, it's been a while, you know, like I was really lucky to kind of be part of that Oasis era, like when they were coming out. You know, I wasn't right there at the ground floor of Oasis because like in 1994 I didn't really get into Oasis until 1995 1996 when I started to hear Wonderwall and Champagne Supernova on the radio. I was 12 years old. I bought my first Oasis CD when I was 13 in Toronto at a Tower Records, Morning Glory, and then from there it's just been a huge fan. I saw them live for the first time in the year 2000. The year 2000. Saw them in the year 2000. That was the first time I saw them on the Standing on the Shoulder of Giants tour, and it's been crazy. Carl says, agree. Noel's better with High Flying Birds for more experimental music. He has the creative freedom he never had with Oasis because after 2000, it became a songwriting democracy. Yeah, it's true. I think for Noel, it was actually a little bit of a relief at the time because he was writing so much material for those first three records, not just the songs on the album, but also the B-sides. And it was just crazy the output that he had. So I think when Liam and Gem and Andy started contributing with songwriting, it was a little bit of a load off his back. But then I've loved everything he's done as a solo artist. I think the quality of music that he's had as a solo artist, even the more experimental stuff, has been amazing. Vlad May says, by the way, what's your favorite Manic Street Preacher song? Would be so cool if they were actually invited to support Oasis, especially given the first shows were in Cardiff. Yeah, that would have been really cool because Manic's like opened up their Nebworth shows like 30 years ago, I think. So that's pretty cool. My favorite Manic Street Preacher song. Whew, that's a good one. I love Your Love Alone Is Not Enough from Send Away the Tigers. That's one of my favorites. If I was going to go earlier, I would say like La Tristeza Durera from Gold Against the Soul. And then I would say like Design for Life or The Girl Who Wanted to Be God from Everything Must Go. a lot of songs. I love Manic Street Preachers. Carl says, although do stand by that Dig Out Your Soul is their second best album, the rest of the 2000s are less good. Yeah, see, Dig Out Your Soul is a very controversial album in the Oasis catalog because I think Oasis, like Dig Out Your Soul, I love that album, but I think it's like one of their weakest because I love the first half of that album. I think the first half of Dig Out Your Soul is probably the strongest first half of any Oasis album. You got Bag It Up, which I love. That is a great song. The Turning, which is also awesome. Waiting for the Rapture, Shock of the Lightning, and I'm Out of Time. Those 5 songs opening up an Oasis album are amazing. But then the rest of it, Get Off Your High Horse Lady, I like that song. It's good, but not as good as like any Noel Gallagher solo song. What else have we got in there? So To Be Where There's Life. What am I missing here? To Be Where There's Life is okay, but that I hate The Nature of Reality. I don't like Soldier On. I don't like, let me take a look at the thing. So Falling Down, I've never been a huge fan of Falling Down. Ain't Got Nothing is okay. Nature of Reality is okay. Soldier On is, I mean, Nature of Reality is awful. Soldier On is awful. If they had put Boy with the Blues and I Believe in All on there, I would have rated it much, much higher. If they had put those 2 songs on there instead of like, Nature of Reality and Soldier On, it would have been much better. Carl, I agree it's better, but for me, Falling Down and Soldier On save it. So still great, added to 8 out of 10. Well, it's still Oasis, right? And we only have so much Oasis music in the catalog. So even though it's their last album and I don't love it all, it's like, it's still great. It's still Oasis, you know? I did a video on the channel here last year, which was like my top 10 worst Oasis songs. And it's not necessarily, I'm saying they're like bad and I hate them. It's just like, they're my least favorite Oasis songs, but still Oasis. So I still love them, you know? Carl says, that's what I mean. Noel wasn't that clever Destruction album, sadly. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like some of the song choices, like Don't Believe the Truth, I think is a pretty much perfect album, but in some other albums, it can pretty much be, there's always B-sides that you could swap in and swap out. And there's always things that could be improved. But sometimes with Oasis, you're left kind of like scratching your head, wondering like, why did they put that song on instead of this song? Like I realized that sequencing and trying to figure out the vibe of an album and a flow, and you want it to sound a certain way. But at the same time, it's like, really, you got to put your best foot forward and like put your best songs on the album. At least that's what I think. Drillim says he might have simply wanted to share some royalties with the other band members. Like, yeah, I think Noel wanted to democratize the writing in Oasis. And I think he wanted to have the other guys write songs for the band. And I think that they benefited that from greatly. And thankfully, like Liam wrote great songs for Oasis. Gem and Andy both wrote great songs for the band. So totally. Carl says, I'm a progressive rock fan, so as I've gotten older, it's just got really jarring for me. So Dig Out Your Soul, it's probably the most consistent sounding album from start to finish, to explain why I love it. Yeah, no, totally. Like, and you know, we all have different albums from the band that really stand out to us. Like to me, like the first 3 albums are always going to kind of be at the top for me. But then I think that Don't Believe the Truth is probably their best album after the first 3 records. And I love Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. I love Heathen Chemistry. I love it all. Dig Out Your Soul. I love it all. It's just kind of varying degrees. And yeah, there's always songs that you wish were kind of swapped in, swapped out. So you could, but that's the thing now with Spotify and whatever, playlists, you can do that. You can create your own versions of albums and then you can just kind of listen to whatever version of Oasis you want to listen to. Carl says he loves Morning Glory, but I can't stand the sound of it and always have to skip Hey Now. Needs a proper AI remaster. Yeah, with Morning Glory, I don't know. Like I haven't listened to it in a while. Like it always sounded okay to me. But I found is like over time, I've always really dug more of the straightforward production of Definitely Maybe. And then with Be Here Now, the production there isn't always the strongest. So yeah, there's that as well. But yeah, so like just taking a look at some of these other comments here on X. Noel's getting into the end of the set cuddles now. Like, yeah, Noel, you can tell from the pictures that we've seen online, and he just continues to loosen up over the course of these shows. Like when you saw him in Cardiff, he was a little bit hesitant. You can tell it was very overwhelming, but he's been smiling ear to ear for every show. And it's been heartwarming as an Oasis fan to see the band just getting along and enjoying being back together and just feeling the love of the fans. And that's really what I'm looking forward to to experiencing the most when I go see them in Toronto. It's just that feeling of the band on stage and the fans singing. Like I need it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's really healing for the soul. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. Carl says, I think it works with Be Here Now because it's more musically complex. Example, fading out, and you know what I mean. Yeah, like it's crazy. The production's crazy, but yeah, it's a little bit indulgent on that album. But that's my like one of my favorite Oasis albums. Like I remember when that album came out, and I was absolutely just completely flabbergasted. Vlad says, "Don't believe the truth is usually ranked the highest among Oasis albums in 2000, but there's something about its sound that I can't quite get into. But maybe they were trying to get that 60s style." Yeah, no, you're right because like for a lot of the songs, like it's not a very guitar. There's lots of guitars on it, but it's not a very guitar heavy album. And like, yeah, you're right. A lot of the songs have very kind of Beatlesy 60s riffs. A lot of the songs have more of that acousticy kind of feel when you think of songs like Love Like a Bomb or Guess God Thinks I'm Able, even Turn Up the Sun, Mucky Fingers. A lot of those songs, yeah, feel a little bit more acousticy, a little less guitar heavy. And Dig Out Your Soul after that is definitely more psychedelic, a little bit heavier. And that's cool. Carl says, I agree, Joe Lad, but for me, that's enough to lift it as high. Oh yeah, Joe says, yeah, totally agree. First half of Dig Out Your Soul is the strongest first half of an album they ever made. Then it fell off a cliff. Yeah, but then Carl says, I agree, Joe Lab, but for me, that's enough to lift it as high as Morning Glory. Definitely, maybe is the best overall. Yeah, like it's switched for me, but I would say because like in the last decade or so, or even like a little bit more than that, I've gotten more into heavy music. I've gotten into heavier stuff, and so the straightforward kind of rockier, heavier sound, definitely maybe is something that I've enjoyed a lot more as an adult than I did when I, used to listen to the album when I was younger. But that's the cool thing is that the albums kind of ebb and flow with our lives, and it's really I don't know, it's kind of cool to kind of see how the songs affect us as we get older, which is really really cool. Gonna do a couple more minutes here, guys, and then call it a night and go eat some dinner. But yeah, Wembley Night 5 in the books. The band is going to be proceeding from here. Let's take a look at their schedule here. Carl says, good night, sir. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So yeah, so from here on out, we got Edinburgh, Scotland on August 8th, 9th, and 12th. We got Dublin, Ireland on August 16th and 17th. And they're coming here to Toronto, Canada, 24th and 25th of August. Chicago at Soldier Field on 28th of August. East Rutherford, New Jersey on August 31st and September 1st. Los Angeles at the Rose Bowl on the 6th and 7th of September. Mexico City on the 12th and 13th. That's where Carl said he's going for that. And then they're going to be back in London for 2 more shows at Wembley Stadium on September 27th, and the 28th. And then they're going to be going to Seoul, South Korea on October 21st, Tokyo, Japan on October 25th and 26th, Melbourne, Australia on October 31st, November 1st, and November 4th. Sydney, Australia on November 7th, November 8th. Buenos Aires, Argentina on November 15th and 16th. Santiago, Chile on November 19th and November 22nd and 23rd at Sao Paulo, Brazil. So they're going to be continuing on from here and they're going to be hitting next. And then those Scottish fans, I'm sure, are going to give them an amazing welcome when they hit the stage there. So yeah, so you know what, guys, I'm going to call it a night here. Thank you very much for watching this live stream. Oasis finishing night 5 of 5 nights at Wembley Stadium in London. They're going to be going on to Edinburgh, Scotland here, and yeah, we could keep doing some live streams here talking about the Oasis Live 25 reunion tour. While I'm here, just a couple of things on the channel this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting a video with my Oasis magazine collection. I'm showcasing my Oasis magazine collection. It was a little bit of a hectic weekend. We had a family barbecue here yesterday, or at my parents yesterday, so didn't get to make a video. So something simple. And then next week, going to be doing a deep dive into their single Roll With It, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary coming up next week. Danny says, can I ask one more question? Sure, Danny, you can ask one more question before I come downstairs and we eat dinner. Let's see what she says. And then I'm gonna peace out for it's Sunday night. I figured, Sunday night, why not do a little bit of a live stream, talk Oasis. It's always fun to do that. Danny says, one more question. Well, Danielle, you might have to ask me when I get downstairs. Otherwise, Not gonna be able to answer it here. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you have a good week, and we'll see you with some more videos here on the channel. And have a good night. Rock on, everybody. Oh, so Danny says, sorry, if you had a choice, would you rather hang out with Liam and Noel? I would have to say Noel because he's my hero. I love Liam, but Noel Gallagher is the reason why I'm a songwriter and a guitar player and why I love music so much. So it would have to be Noel. Anyways, thanks, guys. Have a good night. Cheers.